going on, everybody? Just trying to make sure everything's actually working here. Sounds about right. Can you guys hear me okay? Everything good? Sweet. Awesome. So I figured I'd just play some Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous for like an hour, see how that works out. Just let me know if there's any like audio or visual problems, and I'll look into them as we go. But beyond that, pretty much just going to jump into it. Right after I move chat where I can actually see it. Alright. I'll probably just start a new game. I honestly don't remember where I left off any of the saves at all. And normally I don't talk a lot, just in my everyday life, so it's a bit of a struggle to actually talk and do stuff at the same time. Music is a little loud. How's that for the sound? How's that for the sound? Sorry, I was alternating between some tabs, so I think I just cut it off entirely. Alright, sweet. Yeah, I cut it down to about half, so hopefully that should sort the sound out. But let me know if there's any more problems. So, I don't know if everybody's seen this, but they actually did add all of the Kingmaker portraits, which I thought was a nice touch, including a bunch of the NPCs actually. So you can get Kingmaker characters, and then it actually separates it into the regular portraits that the characters would have had access to, but also the NPCs, which I thought was cool. And there's the new one specifically for Wrath of the Righteous. Out of all of these, this one from Kingmaker is still my favorite. We're gonna go with the Sword Saint because I actually know what I'm doing with that one. Personally, I like ASMR as far as these races go. I think Dampier is pretty cool, and I like the idea of Kitsune, Kitsune, whatever, however it's pronounced. People always give me grief about not pronouncing everything. Personally, though, I like ASMR and Pathfinder the most out of all of them. And then, I think it's Emberkin that's really good. Yeah, so Emberkin gives you a +2 to intelligence, which is big for a Sword Saint. I believe you can add the custom portraits still that are Klinger asked, so I believe that's still an option. I don't know that you can do it in beta right now, to be honest, but I know the tab is there for custom at least. with the backgrounds, a lot of them just had like proficiencies and stuff, and lately I've been honestly just choosing to pick none because it's quicker. King Phoenix Wolfblood says, I love your Divinity lore videos. They really help me understand the world of Divinity a lot. Glad you like them. Actually, I love talking Divinity with people. Some people like to drop stats and take penalties and stuff, but I usually just keep it the way it is for the most part. As far as like not taking any penalties, I usually just give what they give me. Like on unfair difficulty, it's probably better to min-max a little bit, but personally I just like using the base. Sword Saint is one of my favorite classes. I wouldn't say it's not like my favorite class overall, but it's definitely one of them. I like it a lot. Yeah, that's fair. I talk a little quiet. Hold on, I'll mess with the audio. See if it comes down a little bit. Okay, I messed with it again, so hopefully it's a little quieter. Also, I don't talk very loud to begin with, so it can be a little difficult for me to project my voice, especially when I'm not editing audio for it. Okay, cool. Everybody seems pretty good with their on the audio, so we'll go with that. That's like a third of what it was to begin with, so hopefully it's good. So feats, I always like to pick up weapon finesse. That way stuff uses our dex instead of our strength for our sword saint. Or at least our attack rolls, that is, not damage at the moment. And then for our chosen weapon, I'm just going to go dueling sword. There's probably going to be like a best choice for this at some point, but with only access to like half the game, it's hard to say for sure. Though Finian, the weapon companion, definitely helps out. And we get a ton of spells, a lot more than we need, so shield, true strike. So personally, I like to go with Norgorber as far as deities, though with this particular class it doesn't matter. But that said, all of the characters you make in Wrath of the Righteous here actually get to pick a deity even if it's not relevant. Whereas asked, is your beard a different color than your hair like in some video games? Yeah, it is actually. It's a little red. My actual hair is like just a dark brown, but my beard's a kind of ruddy red color. I think most of the customization options are in at this point. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe a lot of them are.
No
just
use
something
for this.
Quick. Pretty much all the same voices from before as well.
Their life ends here.
And here's the intro. This gets kind of old after you've seen it like 100 times, but for everybody else, I suppose. the game is not completely voiced. It
Hey,
is
somebody!
getting there.
We got a wounded fighter. Can we get a healer over here?
My, would you look at this? But why would you drag a wounded fighter into the middle of the festival square? Couldn't he be carted off somewhere else, like, oh, I don't know, an infirmary? Or an accommodating ditch?
So you'll see a few of the companions available.
Make
in
room,
this
everyone.
opening
Step
scene.
back. Now, what's the matter? What happened to him? The wound looks nasty. Who did this to him?
Demons, Prelate. We found her barely alive outside the walls of Canabris.
The walls, you say? Enemy doesn't usually stray so close to the city. Must fortify the defenses. And you,
Just so you
hold
guys
fast.
know, this absolutely
Don't die.
kills
We'll
me
see you right.
listening to all of this audio. I normally just skip through all this. Like, I read way faster than this audio plays, so I just read all of it.
We'll get you patched up now. But first, you there, guard. Take his weapons. Bearing arms is not permitted during the festival. Wounded or not, everyone must abide by the rules. He can get his thing. O Inheritor, leader of our troops, the sharpened edge of our blades and the unyielding strength of our armor, Iomade, I beseech you, grant your mercy. Heal his wounds. My powers are not enough here. Someone call for Terendelev. You there. Yes, you. Stop dithering and gawping and make yourself useful. Go and get Terendelev.
Prelate, surely there is somebody else here better suited to running errands.
I'll get her! Terendelev! Has anyone seen Terendelev?
Be quick about it before it's too late. Now, who are you? I don't remember seeing you before, and I have an excellent memory for faces. That's the first I've heard of that name. Who are you, then? What's your business in the city?
None of your answers to him really matter right there. Like, he'll react to him, but it doesn't make much of a difference.
My dear prelate, please, for the sake of the festivities, stop interrogating this poor man. He has been through enough already. Go on. I'll take care of him.
All right, as you wish. You are our protector, and a dragon at that. So I shall defer to your wisdom. But be on your guard. I've been informed he was wounded near Canabris. That means the demons are prowling just outside the walls, and the city is crawling with their spies. Others may be able to relax on this holiday, but not you or I. Not the defenders of this city.
Okay, so Stooge McDuck asked, is Crusade management better than Kingdom management from Kingmaker? Yeah,
I
definitely.
loose the
But to be
grudging
fair, I
grip
hated
of
Kingdom
pain.
management, so there is
Cast
that.
off the veil of suffering flesh. Let light and life go forth in triumph to repel the skulking shade of death. There.
So Terendelev is pretty cool. Silver Dragon, you can't ask about it. Honestly, kind of a waste of time talking to her, though.
I accept your
as you'll
thanks.
see here in just a minute.
But my name is Terendelev. Certainly. But be careful. But do not be discouraged. You will recover. I promise you that.
Okay, so at this point, the only actual goal is to do a couple things around the square. There's like 3 little objectives you can do. Not that it makes much of a difference, but you can only do 2 of them and then something happens. But let me set up my hot bars here real quick. Alright, so at this point, yeah, you just have to do 3 little activities, and you just go up to them and click them. You don't really get to participate, but there's a little festival going on in Canabris, and they kind of teach you some various things as you go, but obviously I know all this because I've made a billion videos about it. I am also excited for Black Geyser GD351. Looks very Pillars of Eternity, though. obviously I haven't played it yet, but once it hits early access, I'll be excited to see it. But just kind of glancing at it, though, it looks incredibly similar to Pillars of Eternity, just at a glance, like visually. Okay, so once we complete 2 activities in the square, an event happens.
Behold, Crusader gods, behold Iomane, you poor imposter. Your city will fall to me. Your followers will feed my hunger.
I said it wasn't early access because it's not out yet. I said once it hits early access, they'll be impressive. Just currently, visually looking at the preview stuff.
Discari, Lord of Locusts, leave my city!
Let the feast begin.
That's why it doesn't make much of a difference to talk to them.
Discari's here. Discari himself. Blimey! One minute we had a dragon, the next, bam, she was gone. What are you gonna do? Fight or flee? If fleeing's your plan, let me help you out. I've got a scroll here with a good protective spell.
Alright, so we can ask a few questions here. We can ask who Discari is. He's a demon lord of locusts. You can ask for a weapon or the scroll. This does come up later, but I have no idea what it actually affects just yet.
Take this. Best crossbow I've got. The person who made it said it could pierce the hide of a demon lord even. Good luck! Try not to get eaten now!
Do that cinematic thing for the cutscene. Yeah, in some form it's always been kind of cinematic.
A mortal gnat snaps its jaws at the Lord of Locusts. Behold, Iomane. Behold the death I sow.
And we find ourselves underneath Canabras.
The silver dragon, Tyrendelev, the defender of Canabras, fell in battle. Hardly surprising, as she had to fight the demon lord Discari himself. He willed the land to part and swallow all who dared to stand in his way. But the war was still far from over.
Alright, and then we get dropped into the caves here. How's the sound now? Is it just that cutscene, or are we still pretty loud? Alright then. So once we're down here, we can actually pick up a couple of Tyrendelev scales once you get moving around. Gotcha. Yeah, it's probably just that cutscene. And a little bit up the path.
Holy mother of... Hey, stay with me. You actually got pretty lucky. You fell down into a black hole. But at least you're not on your own. You've got a great companion.
I feel him all right. When say no to a little less feeling in him. My ankle's killing me, but
that's all that matters.
So now, this little dialogue is really just a tutorial for the skill check system. So if you
Fancy
mouse
meeting
over it, you
you
can
down
actually
here.
see whatever your plus is and the
You're the one that
difficulty
Tyrendelev
class,
healed today, right?
For
You aren't injured, are you?
athletics, I'd have a plus
Will you
4,
help
so
me
for
get her
knowledge,
out
I'd
from
have a
under the
plus 9.
boulders?
I only need to roll a 12. And then if I'm evil, I can do this. And then if you succeed, you're good. If you fail
Look
that,
at you! It's
Sela
good to meet
actually
someone
takes
who uses
on
brains
fatigue, I
first
believe.
and bronze.
Damn it all. I think it's broken. Oh well, I've had worse. I'll just make myself a splint out of something. Thanks for the help. I wouldn't have lasted long on my own stuck under there. I'm Anevia Tirabade, of the Eagle Watch. I was overseeing security at the festival square. I thought maybe spies or demon worshippers might have something nasty planned. What actually happened, though, now that I did not see coming. I don't think anyone could have been prepared for that.
Well, I'm Sela. Paladin by the grace of Iomade. I crossed the whole continent to come to Mendev and fight demons. And well, I've been fighting for a while now. I don't even want to think what might be happening up there in the city. Canabres has lost the protection of Tyrendelev, and of the Wardstone too, looks like. It's a relic without equal. It was placed here personally by Iomede's herald, with the goddess's blessing. I really wanted to go see it, to pray before it. But there's no point worrying about a stone when there are people dying in the streets.
Yeah, things are looking grim enough, but don't lose heart. Wardstone or no, dragon or no, Canabres will never give in. Simple as. Well, we've introduced ourselves. What about you?
So, not that any of this matters, but for the sake of roleplay, you can tell what you were doing when you came to the World Wound and Canabres, or you just give them your name. Or you can be rude and tell them to not bother.
Good to meet you. Now, tell us all about yourself.
Whoa, girl. Slow down. Exchanging names is enough for now. We don't have time to be swapping life stories. We need to find a way out of here. Now then, I'll hobble my way out of here somehow. The city ain't far, only 30 paces or so. That's if you're going straight up, of course. I'm afraid we're gonna have to go the long way round.
To summarize, there are 3 of us, with 5 working legs, 3 pairs of decent hands, 2 clear heads, and 1 made of wood. That's mine. Underground monsters beware! Anevia, you stay behind us. You're in no fit state to fight. If we do come up against anything, the 2 of us will try to manage on our own first. Well, onward! May the good deities lead us back to the open sky soon.
Alright, and then we get all this about the party. So Mori asks, is this your first time playing through the new update? No, I played through it a couple times. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So
We do it my way.
if we move a little farther up, this chest always has weapons in it for you. Seems to vary though. Like originally it seemed like this had weapons that were like specific to whatever you could use. And then here in the last update it seems like they just kind of started throwing random stuff into it. At one point it was tailored to like what you actually had proficiency in.
Follow.
Which I hope
if
they go
you
back
dare.
to, because it kind of sucks not being able to get some specific weapons until later.
Who's
when
there?
you're actually in combat already.
Relax, friend. We're not demons or cultists. Don't poke my eye out with that thing, all right? We fell down here during the attack. I'm Sela, that's Anevia, and this is our new friend. We're looking for a way back to the surface.
Really? I'm so ever glad to hear it. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Camellia. I was also in the square when... I can scarcely believe it. How did all those demons get into the city? I thought, naively it now seems, that the Wardstone protected us from attack. And Tyrendelev, I can't wrap my head around it.
Alright, so this is Camellia, one of our potential companions. We can kind of just have a conversation. She'll wind up coming with you though.
That's right. It would be the height of foolishness to survive a demon attack only to perish under a pile of rubble.
Are you coming with us then? The more the merrier, and that blade of yours is nothing to sniff at.
Certainly. Survivors should stick together. It's only sensible. Who knows what else could be prowling about in these caves?
Let's see if this poor bloke has anything useful on him. Not to sound like a heartless brigand or nothing, but we kinda need all the supplies we can get right now.
Okay.
I'm off.
Yeah, so this is the
Save
part
the
I
last
actually
one
don't
for
like
me.
very much, because
The inheritor.
with them not giving the tailors weapons back in that chest now, is that now I have a sword saint with no sword to actually give him, besides like the spear. So then you have to deal with that until you get to a point where you can actually go get a dueling sword, which is annoying. So not a change I'm a fan of right there. But it's the beginning dungeon, so it's not like it's a big deal. For this, if we get far enough to pick a mythic path, I'm not really sure offhand. I'll probably do all the intro stuff and then see what happens when we actually get to the choice. As for my first playthrough, I'm probably going to go like Demon or something, because Demon or Lich, I would imagine, is probably what my first pick will be.
They will break against our resolve.
I'm not sure if they plan on voice acting the entire game. I think right now it's close to like half-ish. Some like cutscenes and some of the like the barking you'll hear from the NPCs when you're in town. That stuff is not voice acted, so stuff like that I have no idea what they plan to do. Weapon is a generic dueling sword for our sword saint. The problem is I can't get one until just yet, or until a little later. In the shield mage you can usually find something. If not, you can always get Finian, and then you're pretty much squared away after that once you actually get up to the surface. But that's a little later on down the line. For now, we just gotta make our way through the caves. Which on normal doesn't require too much thought.
Alright, take you!
Let me draw the first blood.
Yeah, so most of the major scenes are voice acted, just not the smaller stuff. And then we run into Laine and Winterling.
No, I can't just walk away. It's got to be here somewhere.
Some of these names.
Winterling!
Very common problem of mine.
Laine, did you find it? Who is that?
The do-gooders here to save our mongrel souls, no doubt. Wait. They might know what's going on up there.
And of course, we could just attack them and kill them immediately, or we can talk to them.
If things are as bad as you say, then we all have to hurry.
You didn't come from the direction of the shield maze. Damn it. I couldn't care less about what's happening on the surface, but the maze.
I realize that you guys have your own troubles, but we need to be in Canabres. People are dying up there. Please, show us the way out.
I have not tried running through on Unfair yet, but that's mostly because a lot of the difficulty stuff is still kind of in flux. They've been moving a lot of that around, so I haven't messed with it too much.
Tieflings are the descendants of people who sullied themselves by mating with demons. Our ancestors would never sink that low. We are the underground crusaders, the children of the Crusade's finest.
Sadly, underground crusaders is a bit of a mouthful, so people usually just call us mongrels.
You just love repeating that, don't you, Laine? Mongrels. That's what the Uplanders call us. But we call ourselves Neathers.
No matter what you call us, it's not gonna stop our horns, hooves, or tails from growing.
Yeah, so that explains the mongrels. In this last update that they put out, they actually added like the visual stuff. So when we get to the mongrel village, you can actually see all their weird mutations. Like Lan's kind of got that half lizard thing going on there, and Windog actually has their spider legs there.
That's none of your bit.
We're looking for a holy sword. It was here, in the center, sticking out of a rock. The sooner we find it, the better. Some kids from our tribe took off for the shield maze. They figured it had collapsed, and now it's their time to go up to the surface, like all the legends foretold. Except they don't have a clue what's waiting for them up there. They're not fighters. And Saul, the chief of our tribe, is dead set against it. He says that now isn't the time for the underground crusaders to take up arms. If we get the holy sword, we might be able to change the chief's mind.
It's a fool's errand. None of us will be able to hold the sword, let alone use it to save anyone. It's not an ordinary weapon. It's made from righteous heavenly flame and will burn anyone who touches it. Do you think you're special, Lan?
I'll pick it up with my teeth and tie it to my hand if I have to. It doesn't matter. An angel's sword and a troop of stalwart mongrels will be able to work a minor miracle. Speaking of which, you're still here, Wendu, which means that deep down, you know it's possible.
Alright, and then we can offer our help or ask a bunch of other questions. Like
It came here with its owner.
That they were
a
talking
long
about actually
time
get down
ago.
here.
50,000 gongs to be precise.
70 years ago, in Uplander time.
50,000 gongs ago, our forebears found a dead angel here, along with the bodies of his comrades. The tribe gave them a dignified burial, and they were laid to rest with their weapons. But the flaming angelic sword was stuck in a rock, and no one was able to pull it out. It burned to the touch, like real fire. So the rock was placed over the angel's grave. It should be here somewhere.
Maybe the angel will dig himself out and find the sword for us. That might be our best shot in this chaos.
Lan, watch your tongue.
Alright, and then we can offer to help them find said sword, or again, just kill them at any point.
Thanks. An extra pair of eyes can only help. The sword will be easy enough to spot. It looks, swordy. Help us, and in return, we'll get you out of here.
Now we're talking. Let's get to work. It's a good thing we all bumped into each other, isn't it?
What, you want to find the sword quickly so the underground monsters bring you back to the surface?
What resolution am I playing at? I think it's 4K? Honestly, offhand, I don't remember. Yeah, 4K. Alright, so then we can help find the sword, which in actuality is just searching a bunch of these little hidden piles, and the one the sword is in is always this one.
Something.
And then we get this text event, and it kind of goes through what happened to the angel when they actually were down here, you know, and everything was going on. So and then you can either heal the girl that's with you or call out to the traders there. After this, which again is kind of the Angel Laniel that they were talking about earlier, his final moments, who was the guy who dropped the sword, actually. Once you pick this, it doesn't make too much of a difference, actually, what choice you make here. But there they are. And then once this happens, it shows that Discari was the one who actually killed this angel, Lariel, actually, not Lania. And that's how the sword wound up down here. And then you can kind of make a decision about what it is Lariel's final moments were, which was punish evildoers and traitors, or saving and protecting the innocent. That's kind of the thoughts as he died about who would use his sword afterwards. Again, more of a symbolic thing than anything else. It doesn't really make much of a difference.
Hey! Are you alright? You were kinda glowing just now.
That was it. The light of heaven. But how?
What did you do with it? Where did it go?
You can tell them about the memories, but it doesn't seem like any of them actually saw what
really
you saw.
Was Lariel?
That's because you were the one who touched the sword.
angel from the legends. The ancestors even got his name right on the gravestone. The chief will be thrilled.
You. Thousands of gongs and no one's been able to touch it, and now you, an ordinary creature of flesh and blood, no different to us, get the sword and start talking about visions.
Now, Wentwog, don't be a sore loser. He is clearly different from us. The sword appeared before him, along with the angel's name and all that other stuff, because he doesn't carry our mongrel taint. Heaven doesn't give a damn how special we are. We're born with evil inside us. Heaven doesn't need to know any more than that. I know you're willing to tear anyone apart to uphold our people's honor, but you and Sol, you just refuse to face the truth. We are the way we are because our ancestors' bodies were corrupted by the Abyss. It does the same thing to plants and animals. There's nothing heroic or special about it. It doesn't make us better, and it doesn't make us worthier.
So, some wise words from Laine there, but this is actually the first of your mythic path choices. Now, angel and demon are unmissable, so it doesn't really matter about tracking them down or anything, but these will kind of vary as you go. Throughout the point to which you would get the mythic path, you can kind of interact with them, which then unlocks these options.
That's amazing! Heaven has truly blessed you.
This power is the most majestic thing I've ever seen in all my life. Is this what the sun is like, Lan?
Yes, it's similar. But this light is more golden? Chief Sol needs to see this. Now that we have the power of angels on our side, he can't say no. He'll have to assemble a troop to storm the maze. You Uplanders care about your kids, right? Help us save ours. Without them, we won't survive. And then, the perils of the maze won't be so bad if we go together. We'll make our way through it and find the way to Canabras.
Right.
Let's go. We'll take the short route. Well, the only route, really.
And now we're on our way to the mongrel village nearby. So,
What do we have here?
now we're just back to exploring the rest of these caves. There is a mobility check to cross this rubble.
The mongrel did it. I'm gone.
Yet another
And it's
obstacle.
just back to fighting more monsters as we make our way over the mongrel cave.
The world in crimson.
Yeah, there is. There's another mobility check here for a little side cavern, which has
Thanks,
some cool
Lan.
stuff at the
You're
end of it.
so awesome, Lan.
Save the last one for me.
But you do have to kill these earth elementals, which can be a little bit of a problem at this level, especially on higher difficulty.
Now what is that?
But that'll get you this Wand of Cure Light Wounds, which can be pretty helpful early game. Especially if you don't have anybody that can cast it.
heartbeat quickens, I'll cut you wide open.
More tutorials.
What's that there?
This will be quick.
Which honestly, I like how many tutorials there are here. I complain about this a lot, but a lot of CRPGs don't do a good job of explaining things, and they at least put the information in front of you, if nothing else. Alright, so Windoog, or however it's pronounced, stops us and asks us not to show the light of heaven, which is the sword inside of us, to the chieftain at the village. And you can kind of talk to her about it. So, to her, it sounds like revealing this would just lead the tribe down a path that would ultimately get them killed, whereas Laine wants to play like the noble hero type. And you can ask questions about it, but basically she doesn't want you to show the light of heaven to him, and then Laine does want you to show it to him, which is the Soul, the leader of the mongrels at the village. And then that's pretty much it. So we get to Neathholm, which is the mongrel village.
We do it my way.
Which, by the way, here's all those additions to the mongrels. Like, this guy's got spikes coming out of his head and wings. That one's got like a ram horn on the side of its head. So a lot of that stuff wasn't there until this last update. So they all have like these unique visual things going on now, which I thought was really cool. But just up the road, we'll find Chief Soul here. Now, this part is actually decently important. This is actually a bigger decision than you might realize at this point in the game. So, whether or not you choose to show Soul the sword here, the Light of Heaven that you just found, makes the difference between Windoog and Laine for the Shield Maze dungeon. Now, you will get to choose between them again at the end of the Shield Maze dungeon, which we'll get into here in just a bit, but right now, depending on what we do or don't do, we're going to have either Laine or Windoog here's help for just a little bit longer. So, personally, I'm going to go with Windoog and not show him the sword, which Laine won't appreciate. But we can just say no. So at this point, we won't be getting the mongrels' help to go to the Shield Maze, but we will have Windoog with us. Now, our goal right now is to just rest and level up. I'm going to put 2 in mobility, because that's going to let us pick up Duelist later. And then just whatever weapons we want, or spells rather, that we want. Not that it makes much of a difference at this point, because it's all level 1 stuff, so we don't really need per se. So I think I'm just going to pick up Grease and Stone Fist. And then for her, I like to actually pick up Colluding Scoundrel under the Hunter. Because that way she gets a pet and can also make it the target of the scoundrel thing, which we'll get into in just a second. Then we can pick whatever animal companion we want for her, since she's going to have one now. Personally, I like to go Velociraptor because it's a Velociraptor. And then you can pick her hunter spells as well. And then we get this Velociraptor. So the Mythic Path choice you just saw there in that conversation with Sol is just because it was available. You'll get Angel and Demon no matter what. Basically, if you interact with the 6 available paths before you actually get to the place in Chapter 3 where you would make the choice, all of them will be available for options, but only if you come into contact with them. Angel and Demon are always there no matter what, and then the other 4 you have to kind of find and interact with those choices for them to be an option at Chapter 3 when you get to make the choice for which Mythic Path you're going with. And then Animal Companions actually get their own little subclasses or archetypes, whatever you want to call them, now, so that's pretty cool. Personally, I like Wrecker because they get Sunder Armor, which is cool. And then beyond that, it's basically the same as everybody else in terms of leveling them up. I do think it's funny you can pick a deity for the Animal Companions to worship. Not that it affects anything, but they let you do it.
I do what I must.
And then if we walk a little farther back down, we'll run into Horgust Worm. We'll level everybody else up here in a minute. So Horgust Worm is a merchant from the surface as well, who also fell down here. He's well-to-do, and his business proposition is basically to pay you to get him out of here, the mongrel village. And if you pass a diplomacy check, you can double his price, which is originally 1,000 gold, but you can make him pay you 2,000 gold if you pass this check. You can also ask who he is, but again, he's just a merchant from up top. And then around the corner here, we will run into the merchant, Dira. So, cool thing about this vendor is you get this thick pads right here. Now, you won't have enough gold for this right away, even if you sell everything. But if you do the shield maze, and then before you complete it, come back to her, you can then buy it. And that's actually really good armor for somebody who uses light armor right off the bat. But what we have to do before we can head to the shield maze is rest, which we do right here. Alright, so once we wake up, depending on what we did with Chief Sol, either showed him the sword or didn't, one of either Laine or Windog will leave. So in this case, we didn't show him the sword, which is what Laine wanted to do, so he left while we were resting. And after that, we are free to head to the shield maze.
I'm gone.
Which we do right here. Now, it's actually interesting, just off as a little tangent. If you have Windog with you, you'll go through here, whereas if you have Laine with you, you take this path over here at the other end of the cave to the shield maze. Which is kind of a random little bit of information for you. But right there is where I'm going to call it. This was mostly just a stream test to check audio and make sure everything was working anyway, so everything else was kind of extra. But I will be streaming again probably Saturday, I believe. Saturday, probably midday-ish. Not sure exactly, but I'll kind of get that nailed down. I am kind of working on a more set schedule for the future. That way we kind of do this at roughly the same time every week. So, hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of a glimpse at Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous if you hadn't seen it yet. We'll probably be doing more of this on Saturday when I'm streaming as well. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Honestly, just all the support's been incredible. So thank you guys. May you wander in wisdom, and I'll see you next time.